And welcome. Let us begin today's launch by first putting ourselves in the presence of God. Mr. Oliver Quintana of the Korean Studies program will lead us in prayer.
Our Creator, the source of life, we thank you for gathering us today as one community as we celebrate the launch of the Ricardo Leong Hub for Global and Area Studies. As we boldly take on another path in fulfilling our mission as Filipino educators and nation builders, grant us the grace to persevere, to march on like Ignatius, and to continue living out our commitment to serve our community, our countrymen, and our nation in the midst of the many hurdles and challenges thrown at us during these extraordinary times. Grant us hope and love so that we may never lose sight of our life's purpose, to preserve and protect what you have given us here on earth, to continue dreaming and building a more just and humane society, and to never forget to reach out to those who have less in life, most especially the last, the least, and the lost. Continue guiding us as we begin this new journey together today, and as we share this dream with others in the coming days.
Welcome to the virtual launch of the Ricardo Leong Hub for Global and Area Studies. It is Ateneo de Manila's newest hub, envisioned to be in the forefront of the university's international studies and research agenda. To welcome us to this occasion, let us listen to Dr. Maria Luz Vilches, Vice President for the Loyola Schools.
Good morning and welcome to this virtual launch of the Leong Hub for Global and Area Studies. On behalf of the entire Ateneo de Manila University community, I welcome ambassadors and representatives of ASEAN and EU states, the EU delegation, and ambassadors and representatives of the Chinese, Japanese, and Korean embassies. I would also like to welcome our partner organizations in civil society and the government. The presence of Mr. Ricardo and Dr. Rosita Leong in this event is a very precious one. It is in their honor that the Hub for Global and Area Studies is named. And we thank them for the magnanimity of their spirit and the passion for the common good. The Hub for Global and Area Studies puts together under one strong pillar significant internationalization initiatives of the Ateneo Loyola schools, particularly in the School of Social Sciences. We look forward to the flourishing of linkages, programs, research activities, and other related events that the Hub will attract from among our partner institutions globally. I thank Father Jose Cruz, S.J., Vice President for University and Global Relations, for his laudable vision that paved the way for the Hub for Global and Area Studies. I thank Dr. Nandi Aldaba, Dean of the School of Social Sciences, and the faculty for their staunch support for the creation of this hub. I am sure that Dr. Zarina Saloma Akpedano, incoming Dean of the School of Social Sciences, will continue to support this hub. Thanks also to Dr. Jail Cornelio, Associate Professor of Development Studies, for coordinating the activities of the hub. I end these welcome remarks with calling to mind the famous refrain from Rodgers and Hammerstein musical, The Flower Drum Song. 100 million miracles, 100 million miracles are happening every day. And those who say they don't agree are those who do not hear or see. 100 million miracles, 100 million miracles are happening every day. And so, my wish is for the flourishing of the Hub for Global and Area Studies. And may that flourishing be blessed with 100 million miracles happening every day. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vilches. Let us now welcome Father Roberto Yap of the Society of Jesus, President of the Ateneo de Manila University.
Mr. Ricardo and Dr. Rosita Leong and their families, colleagues in the Ateneo de Manila University, our dear students, friends and associates in other institutions, a good day to you all. For close to 2 decades now, the Ateneo de Manila has been privileged to be a partner of the Leong family in many endeavors, from the annual celebration of the Spring Festival and their support of the university's Chinese Studies program, to their gift of a home for the School of Social Sciences. This latest endeavor is an acknowledgement of the interconnectedness of the world. Issues like climate change, migration, trade, equality, communication, human rights, and many others cross national and global boundaries and are of global concern. The COVID-19 pandemic alone, the reason why we are gathered virtually rather than in person, has painfully shown us just how intertwined our lives are. As a Philippine university, which was established by Spanish Jesuits and run by Americans for half a century, Ateneo de Manila is fully aware of the importance of inculcating a global mindset among our students, even as we strive to engender in them a deeper understanding and appreciation of our own Philippine culture and heritage. By synergizing the activities and research of the university's 5 Area Studies program with hope for more in the future and the Development Studies program, we hope to form Filipino professionals and leaders who will contribute positively to the sustainable development not only of our country but also our region and the world. With gratitude to Mr. Ricardo and Dr. Rosita Leong, the program directors and faculty members who instituted and advanced the university's Area and Development Studies, and the students whose interest in the world is the driving force behind this initiative, we in the Ateneo de Manila University proudly inaugurate the new Leong Hub for Global and Area Studies.
Thank you, Father President. The Leong Hub became a reality thanks to the generous and unwavering support of Mr. Ricardo Leong, who is also with us in this special gathering. Let us now welcome Mr. Ricardo Leong.
Father Bobby Yap, President of Ateneo de Manila University, administrators, faculty members, staff, students, distinguished guests, greetings to you all. Good morning to those in Manila, and to family and friends in Hawaii, good afternoon. I'm glad to be in this ceremony, firstly, because it is an Ateneo event. I take great pride in being an Atenean. I spent my high school years at the Ateneo and my college years at Fordham University, the Jesuit school in New York. Some of my high school classmates share my joy in this event. It is a great honor to have the Hub for Global and Area Studies named after me. To honor me, though, it is to honor my wife, Dr. Rosita, who is an ardent supporter of things Ateneo. My children and their family in the US, the Philippines, and Singapore share this honor too. Area Studies, the tireless, meticulous study of specific places and the people that live there, is very important work. Without doubt, it is important to study our own country and its citizens, but our understanding of ourselves as a people and our prospect for greater well-being depends on how well we can engage other countries. We have much to benefit from the globalized world and too much to contribute. Over the years, the Ateneo has had programs in area studies. The hub we are inaugurating will initially involve 6 programs: Chinese Studies, Japanese Studies, Korean Studies, Southeast Asia Studies, European Studies, and Development Studies. It is hoped that the program will intensify study of their particular areas. There is no substitute to knowing other countries in dense empirical detail. The hope is that we gain in-depth area expertise. It is hoped that the study of particular places grow into an understanding of how the particular places relate. The goal is to gain regional view, the capacity to have a broader, fuller picture. It would be a valuable contribution to the country and the region. If our area program became important academic resource for issues people in our part of the world face, we shall strive to generate scholarship that exemplifies good area studies and so to example of our good regional studies. The Ateneo High School I attended was quite formative, and in every sense, I have always carried my Ateneo education with me. With this ceremony, I lend my name to an Ateneo academic effort, but more deeply and meaningfully, Ateneo reminds me of the imprint it has made on me and my family. The Ateneo changes its student more than it suspects. I owe much to Ateneo.
Thank you, Mr. Leong. Now to tell us more about the Leong Hub for Global and Area Studies, we now welcome Dr. Fernando Aldaba, Dean of the School of Social Sciences.
Hello everyone. Let me now brief you with more details about our Ricardo Leong Hub for Global and Area Studies. As you will see later, the hub and its components were many years in the making, but finally, as a group, its time has come. Discussions about the coming together of the 5 area studies in the School of Social Sciences started even before my term as Dean. The then Vice President for Loyola Schools, John Paul Vergara, and the then Dean, Filomeno Aguilar Jr., met with the 5 program directors to talk about the possibility of integrating the 5 area studies into one big department. But the discussions did not continue as the new Dean, and that's me, assumed this post. During my term, it was only in 2018 when the consultations about coming together resumed. A year later, in August 2019, the area studies was finally set up, coordinate and synergize some of the activities related to teaching, research, and outreach. On July 31, 2020, through a memo from Father Jose T. Villarin, the Board of Trustees approved that the hub will be named after Mr. Ricardo Leong, industrialist, philanthropist, and longtime patron of education and benefactor of the Ateneo de Manila University. And we owe much gratitude to Mr. Leong for lending his name to our new and important journey. The origins of the member programs of the hub come a long way. The Japanese Studies program was established in 1966, initially offering Nihongo and Japanese-related courses. In 1988, it opened its minor in Japanese Studies, followed by a master's program in 1998. Meanwhile, the Chinese Studies program was set up in 1987, promoting Mandarin and Chinese-related courses, which eventually led to a minor in Chinese Studies in 1994 and an AB Chinese Studies a few years later. The European Studies program was formally organized in 1997, first offering an AB European Studies and then a minor in 2002. After 2 decades, the program introduced its master's degree with a focus on comparative regional relations of Asia and Europe. The Korean Studies program was initiated in 2012 under the Modern Languages Department of the School of Humanities, offering a minor in Korean Studies. In 2015, it officially moved to the School of Social Sciences. The Southeast Asian Studies, meanwhile, started offering the minor program in 2017 commencing with a 6-unit field study in Brunei credited as an elective. The Development Studies program, which only recently joined the Hub, was founded in 1986 through its initial offering of an AB Development Studies. Through the Ricardo Leong Hub for Global and Area Studies, the university aims to deepen its understanding of particular places and peoples and to enhance its efforts in better understanding how these parts of the world interact. This academic initiative is further fueled by our desire to contribute to the teaching and research of significant global and regional concerns. The Ricardo Leong Hub for Global and Area Studies is a unique collaborative initiative for various reasons. First, it will affirm the academic commitment of the Ateneo in the study of globalization and the different regional formations. The Ateneo has long engaged in the field of globalization, and the Hub takes it one step further by creating a space where interdisciplinary efforts can fully take shape. The second reason is that the Hub is a testament of the clear and deliberate resolve of the Ateneo in internationalizing the university. It will be the main pillar of this thrust, and we look forward to welcoming visiting professors, organizing international workshops, and expanding our global network of partner universities and think tanks. Finally, the Hub will also highlight the university's mission for social development, but this time enriched with global and regional perspectives. Lessons on democratization, urbanization, peace, community resilience, security, resource conservation, and regional integration will be among the issues that the Hub will delve into. As a group, we would like to engage in the following. 1. Collaborative research where we can sharpen our insights and perspectives as we combine our mental faculties to examine key global and regional concerns. 2. We will share faculty as expertise on specific area and regional studies are relevant to all of our programs. And 3. We will put our resources together to launch joint seminars, conferences, and workshops. 4. As a group, we will do joint networking and joint advocacies. And finally, we hope to establish as a group flagship academic programs, both undergraduate and graduate, and offer it to our students. Our vision is to turn the Hub into the Ricardo Leong Institute for Global and Area Studies. In the Ateneo, an institute is an independent and self-sustaining academic unit. The institute, however, will maintain the autonomy of each program in running its own academic and research activities, but at the same time collaborating with each other where synergies can be maximized. We also dream to have our own physical space, a building where our offices will be located and where we will host major international conferences and seminars. Our forthcoming activities include webinars on Chinese and the Myanmar situation, a seminar series on diplomacy featuring respected ambassadors to the Philippines, a seminar series on expat CEOs of multinational corporations operating in the Philippines, a research workshop on public diplomacy initiatives in the country, an advocacy event on the right to life and liberty, and a photo exhibit depicting life under quarantine. For this coming school year 2021-2022, our main priority will be to draft the proposal converting the Hub into the Ricardo Leong Institute for Global and Area Studies, the academic unit that will be offering prestigious undergraduate and graduate degrees related to global and regional developments. So we hope to accomplish this by the end of the school year, and indeed, it will be a very busy year for all of us. Maraming salamat po. Arigato. Sisi. Kamsamnida, terima kasih, danke, mercy.
At the Ateneo de Manila University, the horizon is expanding.
Area studies, the tireless, meticulous study of specific places and the people that live there, is very important work.
Mr. Ricardo Leong, industrialist and longtime patron of education and benefactor of the university, continues his partnership with Ateneo with a new nexus for learning, research, and discourse. A new forum for regional and global issues and insights. With the Ricardo Leong Hub for Global and Area Studies, the university intends to deepen its understanding of particular places and peoples and to usher in a renewed effort to understand how different areas and regions of the world interact and engage. Driving its academic efforts is the desire to address regional and global concerns. The Hub is a convergence of 6 academic programs that have separately sustained interest in and investigation of regional areas and development around the world. Its priority goal is the appreciation and promotion of cultural diversity.
Being a major of an area studies program has been significant in my journey towards a deeper and more rich perspective of the world. For one, it has allowed me to understand that though humanity is innately bound together, the unique distinctions that each race and culture has should be equally treated with mindfulness and respect, because paying attention to these differences and knowing the roles that they play in a certain society are what will allow us to connect better with the different people that we encounter.
Our understanding of ourselves as a people and our prospect for greater well-being depends on how well we can engage other countries. We have much to benefit from the globalized world and much to contribute.
With spaces and channels for research, teaching resources, events and exhibits, and conferences and meetings, fertile ground for global philosophies, perspectives, and ways of thinking. Where knowledge flows, collaboration flourishes, and productivity is nurtured.
What my program taught me about the world and about life in general really is that in as much as we have our varying perspectives and our own preconceptions on the different ways that we think our respective societies should establish themselves, the fact remains that these are all relatively singular given that we are all now interconnected in some manner, that we have this shared responsibility to not be selfish and to place the context of others in our decision-making processes.
A starting point where global minds can reach eastern and western shores of insight and learning, and a venue for solutions and governance, development finance, public health, humanitarian action, and inclusive development.
The goal is to gain regional view, the capacity to have a broader, fuller picture. It would be a valuable contribution to the country and the region if our area program became important academic resource for issues people in our part of the world.
At the Ateneo de Manila University, our reach continues to grow further and farther, and the world beyond our borders continues to come closer to our horizon. At the new Ricardo Leong Hub for Global and Area Studies.
Thank you, Dean Aldaba. The spirit of diversity of global cultures can sometimes be best described through music.
Let us now welcome Ms. Sophie Catignas, Mr. John Paul Lapus, Mr. Josh Calvin Tew, and Mr. Oliver Quintana for a special musical interlude.
During these extraordinary times, may we continue to inspire each other to push boundaries beyond the horizon, to fight through hurdles, to share the fruits of our success with others. Together, let us continue to open more opportunities for collaborative and transformative change, because together, we're unstoppable. Together, we're stronger. And together, we can make this world a better place for all.
I see paradise. This world that I found is too good to be true. Standing here beside you, want so much to give you this love in my heart that I'm feeling for you.
That I'm still crazy, don't care about that. Put your hand in my hand, baby, don't ever look back. Let the world around us just fall apart. Baby, we can make it if we're hard to hard. We can build this tree together, standing strong forever. Nothing's gonna stop us now. And if this world runs out of lovers,
Sometimes whatever it takes is what I'm gonna do.
Let them say you're crazy. What do they know? Put your arms around me, baby. Don't ever let go. Let the world around us just fall apart. Baby, we can make it if we're heart to heart. And we can build this dream together, standing strong forever. Nothing's gonna stop us now. And if this world runs out of lovers, we'll still have each other. Nothing's gonna stop us. Nothing's gonna stop us now.
All that I need is you.
All that I ever need, and all that I wanna do is hold you forever, forever and ever. And we can build this dream together, standing strong forever. Nothing's gonna stop us now. And if this world runs out of lovers, we'll still have each other. Nothing's gonna stop us. Nothing's gonna stop us. And we can build this dream together, standing strong forever. Nothing's gonna stop us now. And if this world runs out of lovers, we'll still have each other. Nothing's gonna stop us. Nothing's gonna stop us. And we can build this dream together, standing strong forever. Nothing's gonna stop us now. And if this world runs out of lovers, we'll still have each other. Nothing's gonna stop us. Nothing's gonna stop us. And we can build this dream together, standing strong forever. Nothing's gonna stop us now. And if this world runs out of lovers, we'll still have each other. Nothing's gonna stop us. Nothing's gonna stop us. And we can build this dream together, standing strong forever. Nothing's gonna stop us now. And if this world runs out of lovers, we'll still have each other. Nothing's gonna stop us. Nothing's gonna stop us
Thank you, Sophie, JP, Josh, and Oliver.
Let us now welcome Father Jose Cruz of the Society of Jesus, Vice President for University and Global Relations.
With the establishment of the Ricardo Leong Hub for Global and Area Studies, we venture forth with greater clarity and resolve into the vast expanse we loosely call the world. That we shall do. But with this same action, we venture forth too deep into the foundational spirit that enlivens the Ateneo de Manila. This year, we commemorate the 500th year of an incident that changed Ignatius of Loyola, his sense of self and the purpose of life. While he was in an encounter with adversaries, a cannonball hit his leg. After a few rather brutish surgical procedures, he did manage to walk again. Well, hobble along really. But in his slow recuperation, he found ample time to ask himself what in life truly mattered. In a manual of prayer and reflection which he wrote for use of others, he described God as gazing with compassion on people across the face of the earth, on people in such great diversity in dress and manner of acting, some white, some black, some at peace, some at war. In instructions to Jesuits, he asked them to be ready should the Pope send them to Turks or any other infidels, even those who live in the region called the Indies, or among many heretics whatever, or schematics or any of the faithful. This mandate manifests a sense of the world as being wide and diversely populated. This global sense and the orientation to engage it has shaped the Jesuits' international higher education enterprise from the start. Needless to say, with the Hub, we venture forth to know the world intimately, but the primary intent of the project is clear. It is to grow the resources and the well-being that humanity can share. To build the world, yes, but importantly to grow the sense of solidarity that binds us all. We close this ceremony as we began, by thanking Ricardo for lending his name to this project, by thanking him, Dr. Rosita and the Leong family for their unwavering support, and by rousing those who are and shall be part of the Hub to take on the immense challenge of making us see how parts of the world are and can be interlinked, and how these can be bound together for the common good. Thank you.
Thank you, Father Cruz. On that note, we thank you for joining us in today's launch of the Ricardo Leong Hub for Global and Area Studies. We hope to see you in the Hub's upcoming activities, virtually and hopefully soon on campus and beyond.